students. In today's lecture, we will be discussing about total internal reflection. So, that is the topic for today. So, it is also a phenomenon which is observed, which is similar to refraction, but when some parameters are changed. So, we would observe that instead of refraction occurring, suddenly reflection occurs. So, that is what we will be studying here. It is a very interesting phenomenon and it is having many applications as well. So, for communication purposes, so which we will discuss at the end of this particular topic. Okay. So, let me first write what total internal reflection means. It is generally called TIR. Okay. So, what this means is that when light is incident from a denser medium onto a rarer medium, at an angle greater than a particular value theta c. For now let us call that angle as theta c. So, if the angle of incidence is greater than a particular value theta c, then the light ray reflects back into the medium, back into the denser medium, without undergoing refraction, right. So, generally there is no reflecting surface there, the interface is not a reflecting surface. Even in such a scenario, if the angle of incidence is greater than a particular value, we would observe that the light ray gets reflected back. So, that is what we call as total internal reflection. I will show you this with an example. So, please observe here. So, let us consider a situation like this. So, let us take a scenario. So, in all the cases which I have drawn here, so let us consider that the upper medium here is the denser medium and the lower medium here is the rarer medium. Now, observe carefully, TIR is something which is observed only in cases where light ray is incident from denser into rarer. So, from the denser medium light ray tries to enter into the rarer medium, only in such cases TIR can be observed. You will understand the reason why once we complete this analysis. So, please observe. So, here if I consider a light ray, so let us say if the light ray is like this, if it is incident in this manner at this angle of incidence. So, we know that because it is entering into the rarer medium, so the angle of refraction, because the light ray bends away from the normal in a rarer medium, so the light ray will be like this, right. Whatever is the value of I, the value of R will be greater than that. Now, think of a scenario where I increase the angle of incidence. So, in the next case let us increase the angle of incidence. So, let us say I have increased. So, as you can see, then this angle is greater. Now, we can say that this refracted ray will further move away from the normal, because this incident ray has moved this way, the refracted ray should also further move away from the normal, right. So, whatever is the angle of incidence here, angle of refraction here, the angle of refraction here will be larger than that. We can easily understand that. So, if let us say this is I1 and R1, so let us say this is I2 and R2. So, it is increasing, because I increased, we can say R also increased. Now, can I say that there will be one particular value of angle of incidence which is slightly greater than this, which is greater than that. So, let me represent that angle of incidence like this, I. If I further move this incident ray, if I keep moving this incident ray away from the normal, the refracted ray also moves away from the normal, right. And there will be one point of time where this light ray can become parallel to the interface also. So, which means that this refracted ray will now become parallel to the interface here. what I am saying here is the angle of refraction becomes 90 degrees. Clear? So, for this angle of incidence, let us just represent it with I for now. So, for this angle of incidence, what happened was that the angle of refraction is so large that it has become 90 degrees. Is that clear? Now, think of a scenario like this. What happens if I further increase the angle of incidence? So, let us say this is the interface, or so if I further increase the angle of incidence. So, this is where the refracted ray is becoming parallel to the interface or making an angle of 90 degrees with the normal. Now, I have increased the angle to greater than this I value. Clear? Now, in such a scenario, what will happen? So, if I further increase the value of I from here, the refracted ray should further move away, but further moving away basically means not entering this medium at all. Do you understand what I am saying? So, this is the critical case. This is the critical case where the light ray is just entering into the next medium. You can see here this becoming parallel to the interface case can also be considered as the critical case. Critical means what? Not this, not that. It is just at the boundary. So, it is just at the boundary of refraction. So, this is the final point or the final angle of incidence for which refraction is going to stop. I hope this is clear. When I increase the angle to greater than this angle of incidence, the angle of refraction will try to become greater than 90 degrees. Trying to become greater than 90 degrees means once again going back into the same medium. It means that it is not even entering into the next medium. So, we can say that till here or up till here, so this is the region where refraction occurs. Refraction occurs only up till this particular case. What is this case? The critical case, and the angle of incidence in that critical case is what we call as theta c. So, that is what I have written here, and this theta c is what we call as critical angle. So, I will write it down here. Theta c is called as critical angle, a very important term. I will also write the definition for that in a while, but first let us understand this once again. So, if you see here, for small angle of incidence, the light ray is getting refracted into the next medium, and because it is moving from denser to rarer, it is moving away from normal. Let us just take some values to understand it better. 10 degrees, 20 degrees, fine. 30 degrees, 60 degrees, fine. 45 degrees, or let us say 50 degrees, and this became 90 degrees. So, for 50 degrees of angle of incidence, let us say refraction angle of refraction has become 90 degrees. Now, what would happen if I increase the angle from 50 degrees by some value? Let us say the angle here is some 55 degrees. Now, there is no way the light ray can refract into this medium. So, what happens is that the light ray reflects back. So, in this particular scenario, for I greater than theta c, so please observe carefully, this case which I am writing here is for I greater than theta c. For I greater than theta c, what happens is that the light ray will not enter into the second medium at all. It just reflects back into the same medium as if there is a mirror at the interface. So, if there was really a mirror at this surface, the way in which reflection would occur, in the exact same manner reflection would occur here, even though this is a transparent interface. So, this interface here is still a transparent interface, but there is no way that refraction can occur in this particular case, because the light ray cannot enter into the second medium because of the angle r. According to Snell's law, we know that mu 1 sin theta 1 is equal to mu 2 sin theta 2. So, what happens in this particular scenario is that refraction will not be possible. You will also understand that mathematically in a while, but I hope this is clear. So, what happens here is that once the value of I crosses, the angle of incidence crosses this critical angle, the light ray reflects back into the same medium and it follows laws of reflection. So, if this is I, this will also be I. So, only until refraction occurs, we can write Snell's law. So, Snell's law is only applicable in this case. Understand? So, for I less than theta c, I will also write that, I will write it over here. So, as to summarize, for I less than theta c, we can say that refraction occurs. For I is equal to theta c, what happens at I is equal to theta c? So, at I is equal to theta c, we can say that the light ray will be grazing the interface in this particular manner, right. So, this is where it grazes the interface. So, grazing basically means if the interface of these two medium is like this, the light ray eventually at I is equal to theta c condition will be along that surface, it will be spreaded on that particular surface. So, you can understand it in that manner. So, it grazes the interface. Now, what happens if I is greater than theta c? There is no meaning or there is no way that refraction can occur. The light ray will not enter into the next medium at all, it just gets reflected back following the laws of reflection. So, reflection occurs. So, this is the basis of whatever we are going to discuss from now onwards, and wherever that transition occurs from refraction to reflection happens at this particular angle of incidence, and that angle of incidence is what we call as critical angle. So, we can also write the definition for this, right. So, if angle of incidence crosses or increases to more than theta c, then refraction stops and reflection occurs. Clear? So, that critical case, you understand what critical case means, right. So, that is the case where the transition occurs. So, you can understand it like this. So, all the diagrams which I have drawn on this side are the cases of refraction. This is the critical case where the transition is happening from the refraction to reflection. So, we call that as critical case, and the angle of incidence in that particular scenario is called critical angle. So, throughout this chapter, to decide what is happening in that particular scenario, we will have to look for this condition. We will have to look for whether the angle of incidence comes into this region or this region. So, that is the first thing you will have to be checking in each and every case from now onwards. So, we will see that in a while. For TIR to take place, clear. So, let me write it down. Condition for TIR. So, we can say that there are two conditions. The first thing is that light ray should travel from denser to rarer medium. So, there is no meaning, there is no concept of total internal reflection when light ray is incident from rarer to denser, and the idea is pretty simple. So, for example, if let us say this is rarer and this is denser, right, and if light ray is incident from rarer into denser, so you can easily say that whatever is the angle I here, the light ray will enter into the next medium at a lesser angle, clear. So, I can only vary from 0 to 90, and we know that in this particular scenario, in rarer to entering denser scenario, can I say that R is less than I, correct, and I can only vary from 0 to 90, which means R will always be less than 90, which is basically okay, that can easily happen, which means light ray can enter into the next medium without any problem. The problem comes in the earlier case which we have seen, where the light ray, the refracted ray has already reached 90 degrees, and when I further increase the angle, it just reflects back into the same medium. So, keep in mind, TIR, total internal reflection, does not happen when light ray is incident from rarer to denser. The light ray just refracts and enters at a lesser angle, clear. So, this is a necessary condition. Clear? Without this, there is no meaning for TIR once again. So, the light rays should travel from denser to rarer, and the second condition is that the angle of incidence should be greater than theta c. So, that is the basic idea. So, now that theta c, which we called as critical angle, so let us calculate what that value is. So, I have been telling that if we cross that value, TIR takes place. If we are lesser than that value, refraction takes place. Now, what is that value? So, if I consider an interface of two different media, mu1 and mu2, what will this value of theta c be? So, let us see that. So, let us consider a situation where we have an interface like this, normal, and light ray is incident at some angle. Should I draw the light ray downwards or like this? Obviously, we will be considering denser to rarer because we are talking about TIR in this particular case. So, this angle, let us say it is I. So, in this case this is rarer medium. So, light ray will be something like this. So, it is going to make an angle R. So, let us consider that this medium has a refractive index of mu1, mu2, or let me write it as mu d, mu r, mu of denser, mu of rarer. Okay. Now, observe carefully. Now, the diagram which I have drawn here shows you that refraction is occurring, correct? Now, what I will do is, I will write the condition for refraction first. Instead of writing the condition for TIR, I will first write the condition for refraction to take place, and then we will see, we will decide based on that. Clear? For refraction to take place, what can we write now? For refraction to take place, if refraction is taking place, can I write Snell's law? I can write. So, let us write that. So, mu d into sin I is equal to mu r into sin r, correct? Mu d sin I is equal to mu r sin r. Okay. Now, observe carefully. So, if refraction is taking place, then this is what happens. Now, let us first find critical angle using this. We will first find the value of theta c, that is what we are looking. So, after finding theta c, we can understand whether TIR takes place or not for a given value of I. Okay. So, how do I write the condition for theta c? We know that theta c is the angle of I for which R becomes 90 degrees. So, it is the value of angle of incidence for which R is equal to 90 degrees, correct? So, I will just use that definition. So, what I am going to do now is I will write this as mu d plus sin I. In place of I, can I substitute theta c? So, when I is theta c, I can say R is 90 degrees. So, sin 90 degrees, correct? Now, let us observe this. So, we are required to find theta c, right? So, I can write sin theta c is equal to mu r by mu d, mu r by mu d. That is it. We got the value of theta c. So, solving this will give me the value of theta c as how much? Sin inverse of mu r by mu d. So, that is how we find critical angle. Now, the idea is pretty simple. If the angle of incidence is greater than that, reflection, TIR. If the angle of incidence is lesser than that, refraction. Clear? So, that is the basic idea. Now, observe here. See, the reason why we call it as total internal reflection, TIR, is because, see, we know that whenever refraction is occurring, so like if I consider an interface like this, and if light ray is incident in this manner, so even in cases where refraction is occurring, whatever case you can consider, let us take denser, rarer. So, in this case I have told you that at each and every interface some part of the light will get reflected, some part of the light will get refracted, and I have told you that if that is an interface of two different media, then most of the light will get transmitted or refracted, some part, let us say some 5% or something like that, and 95%. So, something like that would be refracted, correct. So, this is what we have discussed earlier. So, at every interface both the phenomenon occur generally, right. Now, in case of TIR, when this condition is met, if I is greater than theta c or I is greater than sine inverse of mu r by mu d. So, in this particular case what happens is that when the light ray is incident at the interface at an angle greater than theta c. So, let us say the angle here is greater than theta c. So, as I have considered in this case. So, what happens here is that the light will get reflected 100%. 100% of the light, the total energy that the light possesses will get reflected back. There is no small percentage of light also which can enter into the second medium, unlike the earlier case where some part might get reflected, most of the part will get refracted. So, nothing like that will also happen. If this condition is met, if I is greater than theta c, 100% of the light gets reflected back, 100% of light is reflected. So, that is why we call it as total. So, the reason why we call it as T total is because of this 100% reflection, clear. So, total internal reflection. So, that is how it got the name. Okay. Now, so we have found theta c, right. So, now I can easily say that if I is greater than sine inverse of, what is the value we got here, mu r by mu d. So, mu r by mu d, we can say that total internal reflection will take place. If this is met, if I is greater than this, then TIR takes place. Okay. So, I will just rearrange the terms once again. I will take sine on this side. So, I will be getting sine I, correct, greater than mu r by mu d, correct. Now, I will once again multiply this. So, I get mu d sine I greater than mu r. Okay. So, sometimes instead of giving you the critical angle of an interface, so if they give you the refractive indices of the two media and the angle of incidence at which the light ray is incident. So, to check whether TIR takes place or not, this is the expression which we will be using. So, remember this is the initial medium's refractive index and this is the second medium's refractive index. So, this is the first medium, because you can see mu d is the first medium which we have considered and mu r is the second medium which we have considered. So, I would suggest you remember this expression in this manner, mu 1 sin I greater than mu 2. So, where light is travelling from a medium of refractive index mu 1 and incident onto a medium of refractive index mu 2, if the angle of incidence is I. So, if you know these values mu 1, mu 2 and I, so you can directly check this. If this condition is satisfied, TIR takes place. So, remember once again, this is the condition for TIR, condition for TIR, right. So, do not forget this. So, this will anyways be clear to you, this is something which you will definitely not forget, but here most of the time they will not give us the value of theta c, clear. So, we would be given the values of mu 1 and mu 2 and angle of incidence. So, we will have to decide by looking at their numerical values, and to check using their numerical values, this is the most important result you need to keep in mind, right? We will see some examples based on that, then it will become clear for you. Clear? One here is a simple one. So, they are asking us to find the critical angle value for the air water interface. Now, keep in mind one very important thing, theta c is defined for a pair of media. So, there is no way you can define theta c for air or theta c for water. So, theta c is something which is involved with a pair of medium from denser to rarer, that is the case for which we define theta c, right. So, remember that it is defined for a pair of media. So, air water will have particular theta c, air glass will have different value of theta c, water glass will have different theta c, clear. And we know how to find the value of theta c. So, theta c is equal to sine inverse of mu rarer by mu denser. We derived it earlier, or you can directly keep in mind that whenever we need to write this expression to find theta c, you can directly write sine inverse of smaller refractive index by bigger refractive index, because you know that sine theta is always lesser than 1, right. So, whenever you are getting confused, just write smaller refractive index at the top and greater refractive index at the bottom. So, that is it. So, we can directly write the value of theta c as sine inverse of mu r by mu d. So, mu r by mu d, so like I told you, you do not have to worry. So, there is 1, air has 1, water has 4 by 3. So, smaller is 1, larger is 4 by 3. So, just substitute that, it will be correct for sure. So, we can directly write sine theta, theta c is equal to sine inverse of 3 by 4. So, that would be the critical angle, clear. So, if the angle of incidence is greater than this, then reflection, total internal reflection, 100% reflection will take place, right. Okay. Now, the next question. So, if you see here, so light ray is incident, this is the incident ray from water onto the air interface, clear. So, obviously TIR may take place because it is travelling from denser to rarer, but we need to check whether it will take place or not. So, first of all, okay, the angle of incidence here, that is 53 degrees, clear. So, now we need to decide whether TIR takes place or not. Now, keep in mind, I have told you this one earlier also, angle of incidence, refractive index, refractive index. When you are given values in that manner, then what is the way to decide whether TIR takes place or not? What is the method which we use for that? Mu 1 sin I or mu 1 sin I, okay, mu 1 sin theta 1, you can say, if you call this as theta 1, mu 1 sin theta 1 should be greater than mu 2. So, from the medium in which the light is present, so if the product of mu into sine is greater than the mu value of the next medium, then TIR takes place. And there is a logic behind this also. You can understand this as, if mu 1 sin theta 1 is greater than mu 2 into sin 90, or let me write it as, if mu 1 sin theta 1 is equal to mu 2 sin 90, what does this mean? This is the condition for grazing the interface scenario, for theta c scenario. If I solve this, I will get theta c, correct. But if I put a greater than here, then I get condition for TIR. I will repeat once again. If I take the angle of refraction as 90 and if I put an equal to, the condition which I got here is for grazing the surface scenario. So, which means the angle of incidence will be theta c. So, I can write mu 1 sin theta c is equal to mu 2 sin 90, which we already know, that is what we have derived earlier also, correct. Now, instead of putting equal to here, sin 90 is anyways 1, if I put a greater than, then that becomes the condition for TIR, right. So, I will write it once again, although we have written it earlier. So, this is the condition for TIR. So that is the basic idea. I hope you understood this. There is a sin 90 here as well, because r is sin 90, r is 90, so sin 90 is 1. So that is the idea. So if mu 1 into sine of this angle, so let us call this angle as I. So this angle as I, if mu 1 sin I is greater than the next medium's refractive index, keep it, remember it in this manner. So if this medium's mu into sin theta is greater than next medium's mu, then the light ray won't enter into the next medium. Is that clear? I will repeat once again. If this medium's, this in the sense first medium, if the first medium's mu into sin theta is greater than the next medium's mu, then TIR will take place. So that is what I have written here, or you just follow the expression, you won't make any mistakes, right. So let us substitute the values now and check whether this condition is satisfied or not. Mu 1, this is 4 by 3 into sin I. What is sin I? Sin 53. Sin 53 is 4 by 5. So 4 by 5, right, is greater than mu 2. Mu 2 is here 1. So what is the value which I got here? 16 by 15 is greater than 1. Yes, 16 by 15 is greater than 1. So which means TIR takes place. Please understand this clearly. Understanding whether TIR takes place or not is the most important thing in each and every question which we will be learning from now onwards. So this should be very clear for you. So if I will repeat once again, initial medium's mu into sin theta, if it is greater than the next medium's mu, TIR takes place. Clear? So in this case TIR takes place, and if TIR take place, then we can say that the light ray gets reflected back also at the same angle of 53 degrees. It is reflecting case scenario. So what is the value of deviation in the case of reflection? It is nothing but 180 minus 2i. You remember that? Or you can just look at, can just extend this and call this as delta. So this is 53, this is 53. So what is this? So that would be 180 minus 2i, which is 2 into 53. So 180 minus 106. What is 180 minus 106? 74 degrees. Clear? So students, let's see this question. So this one here is a very important concept. So please try to focus, because it is slightly tricky as well. So please focus. So here they are asking us to understand the path of the light ray. So if you look at this, these are different media having different interfaces. So this medium has a refractive index of 3, lesser than that 2, lesser than this 1.732, lesser than this 1.5, lesser than this 1, right. Okay. So the light ray which is coming from here, so let us try to estimate how the light ray travels from one medium to another medium. So whether, because this is denser, so when compared with this, when compared with air, glass is denser. When compared with glass, this is denser. When compared with this, this is denser. And when compared with this is denser. So light is always traveling from denser to rarer. So there is a chance of TIR to take place. There is a chance, correct? So we need to check if TIR takes place or not, and if TIR is taking place, we need to basically draw how the light ray travels. Clear? So let us try to understand this, and please observe carefully. I am repeating this once again. The condition for TIR, mu initial, the first medium, into sin theta 1, or let us say mu 1 sin theta 1. What is the condition? Mu 1 sin theta 1 should be greater than mu 2. So for TIR. So never ever forget this result, right. So initial medium's mu into sine of theta of that medium, angle of incidence. If it is greater than the next medium's refractive index, light gets reflected back. So let's check. So let's check here. So, let us check whether TIR takes place at this interface or not. Let me name them. So, just for understanding it easily, at interface A, this is B, C, D. So, for interface A. So, now we are checking at interface A. So, let us see. So, light is coming from here. So, condition is this is how we should write it. So, let me write it 3 into 30, I mean not 3 into 30, 3 into sin 30. So, 3 into sin 30, sin 30 is greater than, what is the refractive index of this medium? 2. Now, remember, if this condition is satisfied, what happens? Reflection or refraction? Reflection. This is the condition for reflection. So, let's check. So, I am getting 3 by 2 is not greater than 2, which means no TIR. So, this is how you should decide at each and every interface. So, there is no TIR happening here. So, if no TIR, I mean if TIR is not happening, what does that mean? Light ray is entering into that medium, clear? The light ray is refracting into that particular medium. So, the light ray will travel like this. It bends slightly away from normal, correct? Because it is entering into rarer medium. Please observe once again, this is 3, this is 2. So, this is rarer when compared with this. So, as light enters into this medium, so this angle will increase, clear? So, this angle will be greater than 30, slightly greater than 30. So, now the light ray is incident here, right? Okay. Now, I have to decide whether refraction takes place here or reflection takes place. Now, this is where it becomes very tricky, and I want you to observe very closely here. Now, for interface B, so please see here, let me call this angle as some, what do we call it? Let us say this is theta 2, and which means this angle is also theta 2. We know that, we have seen in the case of parallel slabs, right, interfaces which are parallel to each other. So, this is theta 2, and let us say the light ray is getting reflected here, refracted here and travelling at theta 3. Let us just assume, we do not know whether that happens or not. Okay. So, now this is theta 2, which means this is theta 2. So, we are writing for interface B, right. So, if I write the same expression for checking TIR, can you tell me what is the condition I should write here at interface B? How do we write? Initial mu into initial sin theta greater than next mu, correct? So, when light is travelling from this into this, the condition I should write is mu 2 sin theta 2 is greater than mu 3, correct? This is what I have to check for TIR to take place. Now, I do not know, I know mu 2, I do not know sin theta 2, I know mu 3, I have this, I do not know sin theta 2, then how can I check sin theta 2? How do I have to once again calculate sin theta 2? Not required. Now, this is where you should be a little bit careful. We know that in the case of parallel slabs, remember the first lecture in plane surface refraction, if light enters into this medium, let us say if this is theta 1, this is mu 1, if it enters into this medium at theta 2, this is mu 2, and if it enters into this medium at theta 3, and if this is mu 3, do you remember the result which we have derived there? We can say that mu 1 sin theta 1 is equal to mu 2 sin theta 2 is equal to mu 3 sin theta 3, so on, correct? So, now here I need mu 2 sin theta 2. Can I say mu 2 sin theta 2 is nothing but mu 1 sin theta 1 by using Snell's law at this surface? That is it. I can check with sin theta 1 everywhere. I do not have to once again find theta 3, multiply that with mu 3. I know for sure that if refraction takes place here and enters into this medium, then mu 3 into sin theta 3 is definitely equal to mu 1 into sin 30. I know that for sure. We have already discussed that, correct? So, what I will do here is, instead of understanding this as mu 2 sin theta 2, I will replace that with mu 1 sin theta 1, because already refraction took place, correct? Now, let us check. What is mu 1 sin theta 1? I already know that the value is 3 by 2. So, if I write the condition, I will be getting 3 by 2 greater than what is mu 3 root 3. Is that correct? Is this condition correct? 3 by 2 is 1.5. Is 1.5 greater than root 3? No. So, 3 by 2 is not greater than root 3, which means even at second surface there is no TIR. Clear? Now, let us do for interface C. Interface C. Okay. So, interface C is here. So, let us call this angle as theta 3. Now, what is the condition for checking TIR here? Mu 3 sin theta 3 should be greater than mu 4. If that condition is satisfied, I will write it down. Mu 3 sin theta 3 should be greater than mu 4. But should I understand this as mu 3 sin theta 3? No, because light ray has already refracted and then reached here. So, which means can I directly say mu 3 sin theta 3 is nothing but mu 1 sin theta 1. I will directly use that to check it. So, mu 3 sin theta 3 is once again mu 1 sin theta 1, which is 3 by 2, which we have already seen. So, here for checking I can write 3 by 2 greater than mu 4. What is mu 4? Mu 4 is exactly 3 by 2, correct. So, it is not greater than, but it is equal to. What does equal to signify? Equal to indicates the critical condition. You remember that or not? Right? So, which basically means that this is the surface, at this surface when light ray is incident, if it is greater, it reflects. If it is lesser, it refracts. But if it is equal to, it grazes. So, this light ray grazes this surface. So, this is what happens in this particular scenario. I hope that is clear. So, I will repeat once again, please understand this carefully. This is a very, very important concept, and as I told you, the only single result which I am using everywhere is this: mu 1 sin theta 1 is greater than mu 2 is TIR. Now, I have checked here, that did not satisfy, which means light entered. Now, I am checking here. For this, if I write the condition, I should be writing it like this: mu 2 sin theta 2, if it is greater than mu 3, reflection will take place. So, to check that mu 2 sin theta 2, I know that it is already mu 2 sin theta 2 is already equal to mu 1 sin theta 1. So, to find, instead of finding theta 2 once again, what I did was I just replaced this whole value with mu 1 sin theta 1, and then I checked once again. When I checked once again, what did I get? Not equal, not greater than. Not greater than means what? The light ray will enter, which means refraction takes place. So, light ray has entered into this, and I repeated that once again. Mu 3 sin theta 3, is it greater than mu 4? When I checked, I did not get that it is greater than, I did not get that it is lesser than, I got it is equal to, right. So, I will repeat once again: greater than for TIR, less than for refraction, equal to for grazing the surface. So, from that I understood that because I got 3 by 2 here and 3 by 2 here, which means the light ray after striking this surface should graze that surface. So, if they ask you will the light ray enter into air, they can ask questions like this. So, will the light ray enter into air? Air is somewhere over here, so it will not enter into air. So, will the light ray enter into glass? So, it is just grazing the surface of glass, it is not entering into glass, clear. So, even though it is grazing the surface, you should not consider it as entering into glass. So, I will write it down here. So, in this case the final answer that we get, the light ray grazes the interface C, the interface C. So, this would be the answer for that question. You can basically look at the diagram as well. So, the question asks for drawing the path of the light ray. So, this is how the path of the light ray would be, clear. So, I will draw it in blue. So, this blue color will represent the path of light ray, right. Okay. So, do not forget this, I keep telling this because it is that important. Okay. Now, let us move on to the next question. So, here if you observe, this is the same case which we discussed earlier. The question before that, I have given you 53 degrees and I have asked you to find out the deviation, right. So, it is exactly the same case, but this time what they have done was they have placed a glass slab above it, right. We have air, we have water, and in between there is a glass slab which is placed, and the light ray is incident at an angle of 53 degrees. We know the refractive indices of these. So, we know that air has a refractive index of 1, glass has a refractive index of 3/2, and water has a refractive index of 4/3. Okay. Now, is it any similar, I mean is it any different from the earlier case? We have parallel surface, light is incident. I will have to check. Question, the options given to you are also the same. So, each and every option I will just read it out. Ray enters into slab but does not reach CD. So, this is CD. So, this end is C, this end is D, right. Ray enters into the slab, it means that it is entering into the slab, but it is not reaching CD. So, that is the first thing that they have given us, and the second one that they are saying is it will not enter into the slab at all. So, it will not enter into the slab, which means it is getting reflected here itself. So, they are saying this is TIR at AB. So, that is the second option. Ray reaches CD and refracts into air. So, option C states that this light ray strikes this surface and goes out. Let us check. Ray reaches CD and TIR takes place. The light ray strikes here and they are saying TIR takes place here, right. So, basically it is same as the earlier question, right. So, if you want you can pause it here and do it on your own. You know how to check. This into this should be greater than this, this into this should be greater than that. That is what you should keep checking, correct. So, I would suggest you pause it here and check what is the answer for this, right. Okay. Now, let us see the solution for this. So, I will first check at the interface AB, at interface AB. Now, the condition, this into sine of this should be greater than this. Let us check. 4/3 into sine of 53 is greater than 3/2. Is it so? Let us substitute. So, 4/3 into how much is this? 4/5 greater than 3/2. So, 16/15. 16/15 is slightly greater than 1, whereas this is 1.5, which means this inequality is wrong. So, if this inequality is wrong, it means no TIR. You know this now, correct? So, which means this light ray will definitely enter into the next medium. In fact, if you observe closely, we do not even have to check. I actually did not realize that. So, we do not even have to check. Why is it so? Can you tell me why is it so? When compared with water, glass has higher refractive index. 4/3 is how much? 1.33. 3/2 is how much? 1.5. So, this is denser, this is rarer. So, there is no concept of TIR at all. So, you can directly refract the ray and you can just check at interface CD. So, we do not even have to do this, clear. So, anyways, at interface CD. So, let us do that. Now, once again, to write the condition for TIR at this surface, what do we have to do? Mu into sine of this angle greater than 1, but do I have to write mu into sine of this angle? Not required, because I can directly write mu into sine of this angle, because this into this will be same as this into this, we know that. So, what I will do is, I will write this once again, 4/3 into sine 53 is greater than 1. So, let us check. What do I get? 16 by 15 greater than 1. Yes, that is correct. So, which means TIR takes place. Is that clear, students? So, that is the basic idea. So, here the light ray is entering into the glass medium because it is having a higher refractive index, right. So, rarer to denser, clear. So, the light ray entered into that medium, and then here at this surface we can say that the light ray gets reflected back once again. So, what would be the answer now? TIR takes place at interface CD. So, where is that? Ray reaches CD and TIR takes place. So, this should be the answer. So, please understand this once again. There is only single rule which I have been applying till now. So, understanding that is very, very important. So, one is using that the product of mu into sine is same for each and every parallel surface. That is one concept I have used, and the other one is the condition for TIR. So, the condition for TIR is this. So, try to understand clearly how to apply these, right. So, students, let us now understand about something called as grazing incidence. Okay. So, grazing incidence basically means, so if I consider the interface of two different media like this. So, let us say this is denser and this is rarer. So, grazing incidence basically means the value of I is 90 degrees. So, light ray is incident onto the second medium almost at a 90-degree incidence angle, which means, so the light ray is incident in this manner. So, I have shown you a small angle to be formed here just for you to understand, but understand this as 90 degrees. So, the light ray is incident at almost 90 degrees, clear. So, that is what we mean by grazing incidence. Now, in this case which I have considered, you can see that light ray is incident from denser medium onto rarer medium in grazing manner. Can you guess what will happen in this scenario? The light ray will definitely reflect back by following laws of reflection. So, this will also be 90 degrees, and the reason for that is, you can see I is 90, right. Can I say that if I is greater than theta c, then TIR takes place? Can I say that theta c for any combination of two media will be lesser than 90? So, you take any surface. So, for example, let us say you take air, water. So, for air water interface, what is the value of theta c? That will be sine inverse of 1 by 4 by 3. So, that way, can I say that for every interface, for any combination of two interfaces, two media having an interface, I can define theta c, and that theta c will definitely be lesser than 90 degrees. So, this value which I have written as sine inverse of mu r by mu d, this is definitely lesser than 90, correct, which means when the angle of incidence is 90 from denser medium, that angle is definitely greater than theta c, right. So, light ray will get reflected back in a grazing manner once again. If it is incident in a grazing manner, it will reflect also in a grazing manner. Do not worry about these small angles which you see here. So, that is just for you to understand that it is incident, I have drawn it that way, clear. Now, let us consider a similar scenario, but from the other side. So, which means this time we have rarer here and denser here, correct. Okay. Now, once again let us consider a grazing incidence. So, this time the light ray is incident in a grazing manner from rarer medium. Now, you know that whenever light is incident from a rarer medium, it will definitely enter into denser medium, it will definitely refract into denser medium. So, this angle here is 90 degrees. So, you know that whenever this light ray is incident in this manner, so if this light ray is incident in this manner, once it enters into denser medium, it bends towards the normal, correct. So, this light ray bends towards the normal and it enters the denser medium. Now, can you guess what this angle is? What the value of R is in this scenario? You can actually take a guess there. If you understand the concepts clearly, so you can easily tell what this value of R is. So, when light is incident at 90 from rarer medium, at what angle will it enter into denser medium is what I am asking you, and the answer for that is theta c, the theta c for this pair of two media. And the reason is pretty simple. I have told you this earlier, the concept of reversibility of light ray, reversibility of light ray. So, every light ray will definitely have this property, whether it undergoes reflection or refraction or any phenomenon, this should always be valid. What it means is, if let us say this is incident ray, this is the refracted ray, right. So, if it is happening in this manner, so what reversibility states is that when light ray is incident in this direction, then after refraction it goes in this direction. So, if incident ray and refracted ray are interchanged, then if light is incident in the path of refracted ray, then the light will refract into the path of incident ray. So, basically interchanging. So, if this direction is happening here, when you change the direction of light ray from here, if light is incident in this manner, after refraction it follows the same path. Clear? So, that is what we mean by reversibility of light ray. So, now you can easily guess. If you are not very clear about 90-degree incidence and entering at some angle, just look at the opposite. At what angle should it be incident from denser medium so that it enters into rarer medium at 90 degrees? You know this already, right? At what angle? So, think of it in the opposite manner. At what angle should the light ray be incident from denser medium so that it enters into the rarer medium at 90 degrees? It is theta c, right. So, this value will be theta c. So, I will write down this result here. When light is incident in a grazing manner from rarer medium, from rarer onto denser medium, then it enters into denser medium at an angle theta c. Clear? So, that is the basic idea. So, please observe this carefully once again. So, in both cases which I have told you, case 1 and case 2, the light ray is incident at an angle of 90, but if it is incident at 90 from denser, it will definitely reflect, because 90 is always greater than theta c for any interface. Any interface theta c will definitely be lesser than 90, correct. So, when light ray is incident at 90, it will definitely reflect back into the same medium. In this case, remember, there is a scope for TIR to take place, right. There is no concept of TIR here, because this is from rarer to denser. So, light ray will definitely enter. So, what I am doing is, if light ray is incident at 90, at what angle will it enter? So, I check the reverse. I know the reverse of this. If light ray is incident at theta c from denser, it enters at 90 into rarer. So, by using that logic and the reversibility of light ray concept, I can easily say that this angle will be theta c. Clear? So, that is what we have written here. So, please note this point down and remember it as well. So, students, based on the concept we have discussed earlier about grazing incidence, so let us apply that and solve this. So, here they are basically asking us to draw the ray diagram for the incident ray after it enters into this particular medium. We even have to check whether it enters or not. So, this is basically a transparent cube you can consider. It is made up of a material having refractive index of √2, and they are asking us to draw the ray diagram for two different cases. In case 1, the incident ray is making an angle of 90 degrees, which is basically it would be like this, right. We will draw that, and in the second case the angle of incidence is 45 degrees. So, let us see. So, we will start with case 1. So, I will draw the cube a little bigger. Okay. So, in this scenario, so this would be the normal, and the light ray is making an angle of 90 degrees with the surface, I mean with the normal. So, which means the incidence would be grazing incidence scenario. So, this is the case 1. So, this angle here, which is the angle of incidence, this would be 90 degrees, correct. Now, remember, this is the rarer medium and this is the denser medium, and this has a refractive index of √2. We already know if the refractive index is √2, we can directly calculate the critical angle for this interface, correct. So, we directly know the expression for that. Sine of theta c can be directly written as refractive index of rarer medium divided by refractive index of denser medium. So, in this case the surrounding medium is air itself. So, whenever it is not mentioned, you can consider air. So, 1 divided by, so this medium is √2. So, solving this, we get the value of theta c as 45 degrees, right. Now, it basically means that whenever light is incident from a rarer medium onto a denser medium, we know that light will definitely enter. There is no concept of TIR here, correct. So, the light will definitely enter, and we have just earlier seen that the light enters at an angle of 45 degrees, which is nothing but theta c, correct. Okay. So, now this light ray, it goes and strikes the second surface somewhere over here. So, we have to trace the light ray further, not just at this surface, further as well. So, now when this light ray goes and strikes this surface, so let us see what happens here. So, because this angle is 45 degrees, can you say this angle here will also be 45? You can extend this line further and it forms a right angle triangle, and you can see that this angle of incidence here is also 45 degrees. Now, you can easily tell what happens in that scenario. Now, you can see the light ray is now in the denser medium and it is trying to go into the rarer medium, right. So, the angle of incidence is 45 degrees. What does that mean? This angle of incidence is exactly equal to the critical angle. So, what happens when light is incident at critical angle from denser medium? You know that the light enters into the second medium, you can say, or refraction occurs, but in a grazing manner. So, the light ray will be grazing the interface by the time it refracts, and the angle of incidence, I mean the angle of refraction here will be 90 degrees. So, that is what happens. So, when light ray is incident in a grazing manner onto this surface, it enters at theta c, which is 45, and because this is 45, this is 90 minus 45, which is once again 45. So, which is critical angle once again, and because this is critical angle, the angle of refraction here should be 90 degrees. So, it comes out in a grazing manner. So, that is how the ray diagram would be for the first case. Now, if I look at the second case, case 2. So, in this case the angle of incidence is given as 45 degrees, correct. So, if I once again draw the cube, okay. So, let us consider that the angle of incidence is 45. So, light is incident in this manner at 45 degrees, and we will have to check what happens. Now, as I told you earlier, if light is incident from rarer, it will definitely enter into the denser medium, correct. So, to find out at what angle it enters, I can directly apply Snell's law here, correct. So, if I apply Snell's law, I will be getting this medium is having a refractive index of 1 into sine of this angle, which is sine 45, 1 by √2 is equal to, if I consider that the light enters at some angle theta, something like this, So let's call it as theta. It bends towards the normal, correct? So it was initially going in this direction, it bends towards the normal. So this is theta. So I can write this is equal to root 2 times, because this medium is root 2, so into sin theta. Now if I simplify this, I will get sin theta is equal to 1 by 2, which means theta is equal to 30 degrees, correct? So that is what happens in this scenario. So this angle here will be 30 degrees. Now if this is 30 degrees, I can easily say that here the angle at which the light ray is incident, how much will that be? So if this is 30, this will be 60 degrees, because once again you can say that you can form a right angle over here, right angle triangle. So if this is 30, this will be 60. So now this light ray is incident from denser on to rarer at 60. So we will have to check if TIR takes place or not. So 60 degrees is the angle of incidence and critical angle is 45 degrees, correct? So which means angle of incidence is greater than the critical angle. So what happens here? TIR takes place, right? So I will just draw this little bit further. Okay. So TIR takes place here and the light ray gets reflected once again at 60 degrees and it strikes this medium, right? So this angle is 60 once again. Now if you observe in this particular scenario, we can say that we need to check for one more situation. So if this angle is 60 degrees, can I say that the light which is incident here will be incident at 30 degrees, correct? So this time the angle of incidence is 30 degrees. Okay. So this is how the light ray is traveling. Now it is once again incident from denser onto the rarer medium. Angle of incidence is 30. I will have to check for TIR once again. We know that critical angle is 45 degrees and here the angle of incidence is less than critical angle. And what happens if it is less than critical angle? The light ray refracts and enters into the next medium. So that is how the ray diagram would be now. So this light ray will now undergo refraction and it will enter into the next medium. Now you can easily find out at what angle it comes out. You can write the equation or you can just see here, you can just see the reversibility condition in this manner. So light ray is incident at 45 from air, it enters into the medium at 30. So the reverse of that should also happen, right? Which means if the light ray is incident from the medium at 30, it should enter into air at 45, clear? So you can directly say that the angle here is 45 degrees or you can write Snell's law here. So and you can find that angle as well. So I will leave it here, you can understand that I hope. So here in air it is making 45, it refracts into the medium at 30. So the opposite of that, the reverse of that would be it is incident in the medium at 30 and it refracts into air at 45. So just the reverse of this condition is happening there. So this is how the path of the light ray would be in the two cases which are given. So that is for today, students. In the next class we will see some more examples like this. We'll draw few more ray diagrams and then we'll discuss some very important concepts related to optical fiber.